So again, welcome to the 2018 softball season webinar number 1. Everyone knows me, of course. My name is Hunter Brislin. I am the Team Sports and Coach Education Program Director. So first off, I just want to start by letting everyone know that, of course, all of our coaches have to be coach certified. In order to be coach certified, you need to go to our website, the SOKY.org/Coaches Corner. There you will find a tab in which you can see all of the courses that you guys are required to take as a coach. There are 4 courses there that you need to take, along with an application that has to be filled out and sent in with a copy of your ID. So if you have any questions as far as those certifications go, please just shoot me an email or give me a phone call and I can answer all of those questions for you. Again, all of our head coaches and assistant coaches must be coach certified. The third bullet there, what is required by a SOKY for an athlete? I think all of us are familiar with this, in that all of our athletes have to have a medical on file, and that medical has to be signed off by a doctor, of course, and that medical is good for 3 years, and the medical is due the Thursday prior to the event weekend. All right, so 2018 SOKY softball season. Kind of a generic timeline here for any of you new coaches that don't know. We have local or area signups that take place in late May, early June, and then the first packet of information, in which all of you should have received, if you haven't, please let me know, has been sent out. That was sent out the 3rd week of June, and that includes all of the important information in regards to the 2018 season, important dates, along with rosters for both leagues and regionals, included these webinar registration forms, and many other things that you'll need for the season. So if for some reason, again, you haven't received that, please let me know. As far as local leagues, those will begin the 2nd week of July, and they'll run for approximately 6 to 8 weeks. We have one league in Louisville at Linden Recreation. That will begin Tuesday, July the 10th, and again, will run 6 to 8 weeks pending the weather. Our other league is held in Georgetown at Marshall Park Fields, and that again will run for 6 to 8 weeks starting on Wednesday, July 11th. Regionals, we'll have 3 regional tournaments, and all of those take place in August, and our state tournament is held in September. A little bit more specific on these dates. June 15th, which was this past Friday, of course, our league rosters were due. So if for some reason you have not turned in these league rosters, I need you to do that ASAP, please. That way I can get you in as far as competing in leagues go. June 24th, we are potentially having a UK softball coaches clinic. I haven't heard back as far as confirming that goes, so I will let everyone know. But if we do end up scheduling that, the coach's fee will be $10 and athletes will be free of charge. If we don't do it June 24th, we will do it later this summer at some point. Again, I told you when leagues begin. The next important date to mark on your calendar is July 20th. That is when the regional and state roster forms are due. So basically, the reason we require regional and state rosters are just in case your league forms change, because we do know that, you know, some of our coaches will add an athlete or you'll lose some athletes. So that's why we require an additional roster for regional and state. After that, we will have our game summary forms due on July 27th. Everyone should be aware that you need 2 games by this date played with teams within your region, and those game summary forms will be submitted to me, and that is how I will put you in a specific division as far as regionals go. A little bit more specific on regional tournament dates. Region 2 in Georgetown will be August 10th and 11th. That's a Friday and Saturday tournament. Region 1 is down in Paducah and that is the 18th. We have a makeup date, which is the 25th for that tournament. I don't believe I have anyone on here from that region, but just in case I do. In Region 3, which is in Louisville, will be the Friday of the 24th of August and the 25th of August, Friday and Saturday tournament as well at Linden Recreation, where leagues are held. September 7th through the 9th is our state tournament and skills competition, and that again will be in Bowling Green this year at the same place it has been the past few years. We will plan on doing skills competition for those teams that did not qualify through regional brackets to state on Friday night, along with competition games on Friday, Saturday, and championship games will be held on Sunday. Also, to mark on your calendar and keep in mind, we have a couple invitational tournaments coming up. We have the Rumble on the River tournament, which is in Northern Kentucky, Kenton Lake Sports Complex. That looks like that's going to be held on July 28th. That is a Saturday. And if you want to sign up for this, you should have already received the flyer from me. But if you haven't, please let me know and I'll send that flyer to you again. And then another invitational tournament is Battle in the Bluegrass. That's going to be held on the same day. So that will be a deal to where you'll have to pick one of those invitational tournaments. Both are held in Northern Kentucky. The last invitational tournament in which we try and have every year out of Louisville is the Incarnation Tournament. That is set for July the 14th. So if you have yet to sign up for that, I do believe Mr. Larry Jones is taking sign-ups for that. So please let me know if you would like to sign up for that, and I will let him know. Okay, the next thing is any major rule changes and clarifications for the upcoming season. For me, number one is the complete new rule of the protective face mask being required to wear by athlete pitcher, in which is all divisions, coach pitcher for B and 1A divisions, first and third baseman for all divisions. This is something that's been entered, obviously, from a safety standpoint, as we have had many incidents where our athletes have unfortunately been hit in the face. So hopefully this is going to help with that, of course. The next one is the ball size change. So previously the required core size was .47. This has been changed to .44. Again, it's both 11 and 12 inch depending on your division. But all of those should be .44 core. And this is something that's going to take time, of course, as far as this change goes. You know, it's going to take probably at least one season to weed out all of the old balls, and I'm completely fine with that. All I would tell you is if you've got it in the budget and you can, please go get the .44 core size balls, as eventually we want to completely go to that. The third one there is the calling time rule changes. Two different changes in regards to this rule. The only player that can call time is the player that has the ball and is in the infield and in fair territory. This is being changed from the previous rule of any defensive player in fair territory and in the infield can call time. This was changed due to a lot of confusion amongst the umpires, specifically trying to decide who, you know, could call time and who couldn't call time. So that's something that the umpires and myself sat down on and really tried to reword to help them out. So again, the only player that can call time is the player that has the ball and is in the infield and in fair territory. 10th batter or last batter of inning rule clarification and rewording. The defense is required to attempt to make a play for the last batter of an inning. If the defensive player automatically calls time without an attempt to make a play, all base runners will be awarded a base, whether they are past the halfway line or not. An example of this is a base runner on first base will receive second base. Base runner on second base will receive third base, and base runner on third base will receive home and count as a run scored. And basically, this is put into, we don't want the athletes to, as soon as they field the ball, to pick it up and immediately call time. We want them to try to attempt to make a play, to learn about the game, and learn properly in regards to the sport rather than just holding up the ball and calling time. That way everything stops. All right, so the division criteria, and this has recently been updated, but this is on page 5 and 6 of the Softball Sports Manual. And if for some reason you do not have a copy of that manual, you can find that on our website, or you can shoot me an email and I can give you that as well. But our division levels are B, which is our lowest ability level, 1A division, 2A division, and 3A division. 3A division is our highest, of course, and they will play by ASA, or now known as USA Softball regulation rules. We division primarily on ability, and sex and age are secondary factors. Equipment. You will find these on page 9 and 10 of the sports manual. First baseman's trapping glove may be worn by any player on the field. Defensive positions required to wear protective face mask, we already covered, but again, it's first base, third base, and the pitcher, which includes coach pitcher for B and 1A divisions. The catcher must either wear a batter's helmet or a catcher-style helmet with a face mask, as well as a chest protector. All batters and base runners must wear a batter's helmet with a chin strap. 12-inch softballs for all divisions except B division, which they use 11-inch. Again, should both be .44 core size. And steel spikes are not allowed. A little bit more on equipment. Aluminum and or wooden bats are used, but must have official softball stamped on them. And I have provided a link here that shows you the approved ASA or USA Softball bats. So if you have any questions in regards to one of your athletes' bats, please just get on this website and make sure their bat is listed on the approved list. No hard-soled tennis shoes are allowed unless they have cleared that with me due to medical reasons. No jewelry of any kind is allowed to be worn other than medical alert bracelets or necklaces. Uniforms. Teams must wear matching uniforms with t-shirts or jerseys of the same color with numbers on the back of the shirt. Numbers are not required on the front of the jersey. They can be worn on the front of the jersey if a lot of teams use the same uniforms throughout different sports. So if you have numbers on the front, it's not a huge deal. It's just mainly that you have the number on the back for softball specifically. Members of the team may wear shorts, softball pants, or sweats, but they all need to be the same color. So if you are black, everyone needs to be wearing black bottoms of some kind. Players will not be allowed to play in blue jean shorts or pants. The only acceptable headgear that may be worn are hats and or visors, headbands, and protective face masks. And of course, everyone probably knows this, of course, or should know this, that all of our jerseys or uniforms need to have the proper Special Olympics logo on them. And any questions to this, please send those to our communications director, Mr. Mark Berger, whose email address is listed there. The field. So we play off of 65-foot baselines for all divisions. As far as pitching distance goes, 50-foot pitching distance, in which can be reduced to 40-foot for 2A. For B and 1A, this can be reduced for 20-foot to 20 feet, in which contains a coach pitcher for these two divisions. So basically what you will see when you're looking at the field from a mound standpoint, initially the rubber will be at 50 foot depending on who is playing on what field, but we will also have a rubber at 40 foot, and then we'll have a line up 20 foot from the home plate marking for B and 1A as well. In B and 1A divisions, the playing field may be shortened to approximately 200 feet as far as the fence goes. Don't forget about our home run rule, which is on page 9 in the manual. And just keep in mind that availability and space for fields and facilities are hard to come by, as there are many, many teams across the state trying to play on the same fields and in the same complex. So field measurements and distances, will be depending on availability and space, of course. All right, so for B division, I'm going to kind of go through each one of the divisions here and kind of hit some high points here. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, or feel free to stick around and ask me afterwards as well. B division, games will consist of 5 full innings. A mercy rule is called when a team is ahead by 10 runs after the 3rd inning. No new inning may start after an hour. So that's something you'll see across the board. We have an hour time limit in which no new inning will start after an hour. B division will use 11-inch yellow softballs, again, .44 core size. All eligible players should be listed on the lineup card in batting order. The B division will play with the modified rule of 10 batters or 3 outs, whichever one comes first. The B division will bat everyone in the order listed on the lineup card. So this is something that's specific to the B division. Again, everyone listed on that lineup card will bat, and they need to make sure that they bat in the order they are listed on the lineup card. So for leagues and for regionals, all coaches will receive blank lineup cards prior to those games. And those lineup cards will be filled out, and again, that's what you'll follow. So those will be provided by myself, of course. Strikes are called if a batter swings, misses the ball, or if the ball travels through the strike zone and the batter does not swing, or if the ball is hit in foul territory. A batter will not be declared out if he or she fouls off the 3rd strike. And the main thing for this is balls will not be called at all for the B division. Like all of our other divisions except 3A, there is no infield fly rule. Time we already talked about. Halfway line, so you'll notice on the field there will be halfway lines drawn between each one of the bases, and basically that's the signal for whenever an athlete comes in and they hold the ball up for time. If the runner is past that halfway line, then obviously they'll advance to the nearest base. If they're behind that halfway line, then they'll go back to the base that they came from once time is called. A ball hit over 200 foot in the air will be declared an out. If a ball bounces over or rolls under the fence, the call will be a ground rule double. If the coach pitcher is hit with the ball, touches the ball, or catches the ball after the ball is hit, the player will be ruled dead and the batter will bat again. This also means that any base runners who are on base will return to the base that they were at previously. This is really big and something to really pay attention if you're in the coach pitcher division, to make sure as a coach pitcher not to approach the plate. They are not to coach base runners in any way, and they, of course, if they're moved up to 20 foot, they don't need to be any closer than 20 foot. So that 20-foot line that's drawn, they don't need to be crossing that. Leave the coaching to your head coach or your base coaches. Coach pitchers may not do any coaching while on the field. There are no pinch runners and free substitution on defense. 1A division. Games again will consist of 5 innings. The main difference here is they will use 12-inch yellow balls, .44 core size rather than 11-inch. Maximum of 11 players, minimum of 9 players must be listed on the starting lineup card, and they can bat 10. 1A division will follow the modified rule of 10 batters or 3 outs, whichever comes first, which is the same as B. As far as strikes and balls, it is the same as far as 1A as it is for B, and make sure balls are not called at all again. No infield fly rule, again, time is the same. halfway lines are the same. A ball hit over 200 foot is the same. It is an out. If it rolls under or over, it's a ground rule double. Same goes for the coach-pitcher rules as well. 2A division. Games will consist of 5 full innings. A mercy rule is called when a team is ahead by 10 runs after the 3rd inning. Again, the hour time limit rule. The maximum of 11 players with an extra player, minimum of 9. And refer to ASA substitution rules, of course. 2A division will follow the modified rule of 10 batters for 3 outs, which is the same. 12-inch balls like 1A. The main thing here is balls and strikes will be called. 4 balls walks the batter, and 3 strikes, and the batter is out. Intentional walks are allowed, and the 10th batter, though, however, may not be intentionally walked. He must either strike out or hit the ball in play. Batter will not be declared out if he or she fouls off the 3rd strike, like in 3A. Again, I've talked about the pitching distance. The athlete pitcher may move up to 40 foot from 50 foot. 3A, I'm not going to cover at all. The main thing here is just looking over our few modifications. Other than these few modifications, it is important just to be familiar with ASA and USA softball regulations. Coaches' responsibilities. Of course, our coaches are expected to act at all times in a manner in which reflects a concern that the fairest and the most positive competitive experience is equally available to every Special Olympics athlete in a competition. For the most part, our coaches always do a pretty good job of this, but it's important to remember that we do have codes of conduct for our coaches, for our family members, and all of our volunteers, and also our athletes. So as coaches, I would recommend y'all to go to the website link listed here, the Coaches Corner website, and print off those different codes of conduct for each person. Again, coach, volunteer, family member, and athlete. This will hold accountability to each person, a member of that team, family members of those athletes, and so forth. So you guys can read through those whenever you get a chance. But I would highly advise you to hand those out during practice to the entire team to review that information. For attire, all coaches must wear shirts matching the team colors or logo. No flip-flops or sandals are to be worn. And, of course, closed-toe shoes are required. Base coaches or dugout coaches may wear denim pants. Coach pitchers may not. Coach pitchers need to be wearing pretty much the exact same uniform as the athletes are wearing. I've mentioned this a few times. Again, our national governing body for the sport of softball is the ASA, which is now known and combined with USA Softball. So if you guys are not familiar with their manual, please get familiar with that. I've listed a link here in which you can find that. I would also recommend that you guys download their app, in which can be downloaded via app phone on your smartphone or app store via smartphone. It's a wonderful app. I have it myself, and that's something that I go to if for some reason I'm getting questioned about a rule or anything like that that is not in our sport manual. So again, please be familiar with that rule book. Okay, so lastly, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful. I know it was quick and brief, but the goal of these are to relay any information in regards to the season for all of our coaches to try and better help you guys prepare and get ready for the season. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in, taking time out of your day to join me. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me an email, give me a call, or you can stay on here. I'll be on for a couple more minutes. You can ask me any questions on here as well in the chat. So thanks again.